Don't get that.
Or like a celestial flower that always gives off bright golden light. That's the kind of thing you'd be able to buy with 250 gold.
Let's go with the Mount Celestia thing that gives off light then.
Okay.
To reflect Kelian's bright nature.
Let's knock that down to 210 gold, because Kelian's an Aasimar, and the guy who's selling them is an Aasimar, and...
Alright.
You know, racism, why not?
It's nepotism, Rickard.
Racism can be a form of nepotism. It can be specialized. So essentially what you have are these extremely beautiful flowers. You're told that they won't live long unless cared for. They require a particular type of soil, which is included in the price. And consider like a bouquet of flowers that you cast the light cantrip on each one individually. That's essentially what you've purchased here.
Okay. And let's include a note as well with these flowers.
What does the note say?
The note says... If action is the purest form of thought, how do you deal with libido?
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
The average cipher spends 8 hours a day masturbating. That's what Serenity's doing right now.
She's the masturbating.
All right, so you have, for 250 gold, you've purchased 2 bouquets.
It shows the note.
So did you write this note, or did you have the Aasimar?
Oh, he wrote this note.
Okay. He's very perplexed by the message in the note. Do you sign it?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's Mahogany's reaction to this whole situation?
What is Mahogany's reaction?
Mahogany thinks Kelian just spent 210 gold on flowers that force you to be in the same place every day.
And
so what, she's not going to like them? Excuse me.
I mean, I can't speak for her. At least they're practical. Light, everyone needs that, right? Wait, no, I think she knows the light cantrip.
No, she doesn't. She's a Tiefling. She's not an Aasimar.
She's a sorcerer.
Yeah, but she doesn't have a light cantrip. Why would I give someone a light cantrip who, when I know that 6 other people in the party that she was traveling with already had it?
She's been waiting this entire moment for this trip.
Right.
She planned her entire life.
She's like, when I'm 30 years from now, I'm going to turn myself into a sheep. That's what's going to happen. Mahogany, you also wanted to purchase something at the Great Bazaar.
Yeah.
So
what I'm looking
refresh
for...
your memory. What were the exact specifications of this deal that you made with Kelian?
Alright, Kelian, because Kelian couldn't figure out what I was owed from our heist, and it was bothering him. So I said he could consider my half, or share, or whatever, dealt with, if he both acquired and got someone of my choice to attune to a magic item of my choosing.
Okay, and what kind of item did you have in mind?
I am looking for a ring of Speak with Mahogany.
Oh.
Now, I don't really care how this works. Like, this could be a shitty ring of spell storing that I can just cast a Speak with Beasts onto. This could be whatever. Speak with Elemental.
I think... Okay, so what you're looking for... Or, I'm sorry, what you can find fairly inexpensively and on short notice would essentially be a pair of sending stones in ring form. Like, Mahogany could wear one of these rings, and somebody else could wear one of these rings and send a message back and forth.
As many times as I want?
Within the boundaries of the sending stone. I forget how many times you can use sending stones every day.
It's like once per long rest.
Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for.
That's not what you're looking for.
For like a message ring or something.
Yeah, a message ring, or like I said, like a ring of spell storing that could only hold like 2 slots. Or only one specific spell or whatever.
And how much money are you willing... how much of Kelian's money are you willing to spend on this?
Oh, I don't care, because that's not part of the arrangement.
That's...
Alright, so Kelian spends a little money now to get a lot of money later. Yeah, this is a good investment. So it sounds like we're trying to create a magic ring. That's probably going to cost money.
Yeah, I'm doing some calculations over here.
And you want someone else to be wearing this ring, or
I want it to be somebody. I'm okay if it brings the price down. If it requires attuning to it, that's fine.
Mhm.
But I just want to, whenever I want to, be able to converse with the person holding this item. It doesn't have to be a ring. It can be anything.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
picky.
Like it could be a bolo tie?
It could be anything.
is your goal here so that when you're in
In whatever
beast
form I decide.
if someone has this item, you can talk to them.
Yes.
How have we not thought of this earlier?
Oh, because I considered it a fun part of the character until I turned to level 15, and then I'm like, at 15, we've done it.
How important is it
Alright.
this ring be able to reach across planes?
Not important.
Not
The
important.
person can be right next to me for all I care.
Okay.
Yeah, Kelian is totally on board with this plan. Like, yeah, we should have thought of this earlier. How have we not done this?
Yeah, until Kelian's trying to sleep at night, he hears Mahogany in his ear all night. Not touching Kelian, not touching Kelian, not touching Kelian, not touching...
And Kelian takes the ring off. Whatever it is.
And it's stuck, it's cursed, oh fuck! Oh, I guess I should ask, is that going to be part of it? Like, will they be able to unattune to it?
Oh yeah, I mean, they can unattune to it if they want. But I mean, if Kelian can't keep them attuned to it, he wouldn't be breaking his part of the bargain. Which is going to get up his ass a mile.
That's true, okay.
No kink shaming.
One of you go ahead and make me a charisma persuasion. If both of you are
Yeah.
helping with the negotiation, they can make this at advantage. If the two of you
Yeah, I'll
are
help
this-
Kelian. You make the
I
check.
was-
How
yeah,
about?
persuasion. So I've got a plus 14 on persuasion.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a 29.
29. Okay. I'm gonna use the big dice for this. After speaking with a couple different vendors, you guys are actually pointed outside of the bazaar. They send you to the basically the temple district, and tell you that who the people you want to speak to are acolytes of the Temple of Hermes, the messenger of the gods.
That sounds perfect.
Okay.
And what you learn is that this is a fairly not common request, but common enough, because there are a lot of situations where you want to task an individual with something and make sure that they get the job done. A lot of times, temples will use the Gias spell, or use some other kind of powerful magical binding to make sure that they stay on task, stay on the quest. That's not exactly what you want, but for a donation of 4,500 gold pieces to the Temple of Hermes, they can craft this object for you.
Sounds great.
How much was your share?
I don't fucking know, but you already made the bargain. Mahogany is not ashamed to use someone's faction against them.
Clearly not. The acolyte you're speaking to compliments you on the very handsome flowers you're carrying.
Thanks. Trying to get laid.
We
there any way we
understand.
can-
We're Greek.
Is there any way we can bring this price down? 4,500 is a lot.
It was
of gold.
it was a lot more until you blew that charisma check out of the water. This is a very specialized magic item that's not in the book. That's not found in the bazaar.
You're Greek, right? Kelian could sleep with you. He's good at it.
Yeah.
Liberation, is forced prostitution a form of slavery?
Oh, like someone could force Kelian to be a whore.
That's true. When you
Yeah. All right.
okay.
All right.
All right.
This is for the good of the party, and what's good for the party is good for Kelian.
What form should this item take? Because they can infuse these magics into any sort of clothing or jewelry item. They can have it tattooed. There's a lot of different ways they can do this.
Mahogany looks over at Kelian and he says, I don't know, Kelian, what would you want? You're going to be attuning to it.
So when Mahogany shapeshifts, it doesn't. This item's not going to need to be on his form, right?
Oh no, this is a ring of speak with Mahogany.
Yeah. All right.
No, Mahogany's not going to need to wear anything at all.
Yeah.
All right. Ah. We should make it. Should make it a bracer or something.
Okay.
A necklace, or not a necklace, a bracelet or bracer.
Just go ahead and
something
put
on the wrist.
Put this on the sheet, and you have the bracer of Speak with Mahogany.
Tell you what, Kelian, I don't want you to feel ill-used, so next heist is on me.
This item has two effects. The first is you and Mahogany are able to use message at will between the two of you.
Okay.
This is a magical effect, not a psionic effect. It is not telepathy. It is literally the message cantrip and all that entails. So it's blocked by certain barriers, it doesn't reach across planes, etc. The other effect it has 6 charges per day that get recharged after a long rest, where you can cast Sending. And that will reach through barriers and across planes and whatnot.
Fantastic.
So what sort of material is this made out of? Like, do you request a particular design, or are you just fine with just walking around with the bracelet of Hermes on your wrist?
Does asking for cheaper materials lower the price any?
Not even in the slightest, no.
Then let's make it as exquisite looking as possible.
All right, so
Just really
Get a nice one.
ostentatious.
Yeah.
the kind of shit they
Dude,
sell
they're
on Home
Greek. They're
Shopping
good at
Network.
ostentatious.
Excellent. So it's going to require an attunement slot for Kelian to wear this.
Every time Kelian gets magic items, he loses them one way or another, so he's still got plenty.
Very good. All right, let's go ahead and get afternoon actions, starting with Ms. Riot.
Okay. Riot has been thinking over the matter of what Harris said, and she's got an idea.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking of presenting or proposing to him is sort of like a cross between, you know, those like how to host a murder dinner parties?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Something like a cross between that and like One Night Ultimate Werewolf. So what I've got on my flyer is new club, don't miss it, one night only. Drink, dance, fine dining, a crime will be committed. Can you find the clues, solve the mystery, and claim the reward before the club disappears? Never before or since will this establishment exist. Cover charge 200 GP. Hold this flyer to enter.
And there's in parentheses at the bottom, it's like we're talking about an actual murder. One of you will die. Okay.
They might be into that.
Oh, absolutely. There's no. There are people who would pay for that. Okay, and these flyers are to like. What's the method of distribution? Do you want Hatches to handle that, or is
Yeah, Hatches can handle that.
So he asks you what's the method of distribution? Do you have a list of names, or do you want him to hide them around town, or how do you want this?
Yeah.
done?
So like I thought what might like one fun element of this, and you can play this up in your word of mouth deal as well, would be, you know, you have to actually be holding one of these flyers to get in, and so, you know, maybe the possession of these can be a coveted thing.
Okay. No problem.
People might make the cover charge just buying and selling them to each other.
So you're going to spend the afternoon with Hatches putting these flyers together, then?
Right.
Okay.
And make sure that like I've handled them so that when I cast Magnificent Mansion, I can specify that anyone who like the condition mentioned, anyone who has one of the flyers that we worked on.
Nath, going back to the courts with rat hole money in hand.
No, Nath is going to go to the Sensorium.
Sensorium.
Nice.
Liberation, what's your afternoon action?
I was actually going to find Nath because Liberation is kind of feeling that Nath is probably the best suited to know about what we need to do to deal with the lithids.
What sort of weapon did you choose?
I chose a hand axe.
A hand axe. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you flavoring it at all?
Didn't Orphan have a weird name for her hand axe?
It's like
It was a sham.
The sham
Yeah.
is a musical instrument, isn't it?
No, it was definitely a sham.
It was a sham.
No, wait, no,
Pretty
Brick.
sure
I think you might be right.
Yeah, it was a caracal. I just said.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, so you're gonna go hunt down Nath?
Yeah.
Kelian, what's your...
Let's do.
Well, let me first ask. Mahogany, do you leave Kelian alone until you watch him attune to this bracelet?
I mean, he can do it. I trust Kelian.
Okay. Nobody trusts Kelian, but we hear you. Yeah, Kelian, what's your afternoon action?
I got a deal. I want to deal with Locksmith crap and Lady Ligris stuff.
Okay, what do you have something
So-
specific in mind?
Yeah, let's visit my office first and see if she's got any requests that she's put in for information, and then figure out how I get her this goddamn gold. All of this gold I have is evaporating. Ah,
You'll get more.
yeah. What was
gotta
your share?
I
How much
don't
was your
know.
share?
I don't fucking know.
Ah,
You think I know?
ah.
I don't even know what money is half the time.
Okay, Kelian, here's what I want you to do.
Yeah.
Make me... Make me 5 intelligence... Not intelligence, 5 locksmith influence checks.
Okay.
DC is 10. Just record how much you make each one by, and sit on those numbers for now.
Right.
What's Mahogany doing this afternoon?
Oh no. Oh wait, no, that's right. That's all right.
I'm gonna go find Nath.
Okay. So Mahogany, Nath, and Liberation, you guys converge on the Sensorium. Nath, you're a popular guy this afternoon.
Hi, Nath. Mahogany.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Nath will nod.
What brings you to this part of the town?
Well, I had some recent experiences that I thought the sensates might find useful. Also, I apparently don't have enough money to bribe the people you need to get anything done in this goddamn town.
Yeah. I kind of got to grease a few palms. It's the way of the city, man.
Just use Kelian's money. That's what I do.
That's good.
Anyway, I came to find you to talk to you about Illithids.
Nath just sort of bristles a little.
Oh no!
I know who you can get paid
I want to know
by.
the best way to. I want to know the best way to cave one of them dude's skull in. Like, I don't know the best way to cave one of their skulls in.
Well, I would suggest not getting that close to it, because unless you're talking about doing it with a stone or some sort of magical force, because
How about this?
You're close
Liberation
to
pulls
them.
out his new hand axe.
if you're close to an Illithid, you risk it wrapping its tentacles around your head and sucking your brain out.
Oh, you don't want that. I had that. That's a bad get.
Of course, if you're far away, you risk it controlling your mind or hitting all of you with a burst of psionic energy that will scramble your thoughts and leave you unable to act. The best thing to do in any situation involving Illithids is to blast them at long distance with the most powerful evocations you have.
Okay, all right. I like how you're. I like your go-getter attitude. Like
I would suggest sneaking up on them, but it's a little bit difficult given their incredible psychic abilities. So, strength in numbers.
So
Offense is generally the best defense. Any sort of psychic defenses are obviously good. Don't trust anyone.
riddle me
They're
this.
involved.
Riddle me this then. Why did we agree to do this crap for Duke Grandstarius then?
I would
Fuck.
kill Illithids freely given the opportunity.
Okay, we gotta find
Bonus.
we gotta find these Illithid guys. We gotta find out what prime they're hanging out on. We gotta find out where they're operating, so that way we can.
This is Liberation staking out the party assist bonus because nobody else cares.
Yeah, Nath nods.
Okay, so
That's a good plan. All that costs money, though. And Mahogany turns around and points at Nath. And guess who's on the payroll? Now that you've worked for the Ciphers once before, you came out pretty well, right? Look at you. You're alive. You know a lot of cool shit, right?
No, it was actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
The ordinal
So,
plane was
Let's
not
talk
something I had
about...
expected to ever experience.
That sounds great. Let's talk about saving a Factal's life again. Because I want to hire you, and the Grand Order of Ciphers wants to hire you. You know, and Mahogany takes out a piece of paper from the Transcendent Order wants to hire
Liberation
you
cocks his head to the side.
to save a Factal.
I mean, Nath will look at the piece of paper. Does it have any more information on it?
No, the piece of paper literally just says Transcendent Order on it.
I may need a little bit more information than this to get started.
Well, I told you who the Factal was before, don't you remember?
Yes, the Factal of the governors, correct?
That's great, I didn't remember. So, you're already one step ahead of the game. And the rest is your thing, right? Like
I mean, I can investigate it. I'm currently working on my own leads, and I certainly haven't forgotten those Illithids.
No, listen, the Illithids, they're gonna get killed. Right? That's what we do.
Is it?
I mean... And,
How many Illithids have you killed, Mahogany?
Well, we just kill things in general. I remember a dragon, turtle...
Is Mahogany going to tell Nath about the time we saved an Illithid's life?
Oh, he already knows about that.
That sounds like a great idea.
Nath already
Riot.
knows about that. Liberation already blurted that one out.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
You
I
didn't
had my
seem
brain
pissed about
eaten
it.
once. Doesn't that count for something? So I know your pain.
So does Nath agree to these terms?
I mean, Nath isn't a taker. He doesn't. No, I'm that's certainly something I can look into. Right now, I have a few I'm still going to continue. Like I said, I need to get a bit of money, get in there, do some own research for my own faction, and
That sounds
while I'm
great.
in there, I can also look into this assassin.
I'll go talk to the guy at the front desk at the ciphers, and I'll figure out what we pay people. Because I'm sure we give them something, right? And I clap Nath on the back. Welcome to the team.
So you're going to go to the gymnasium and secure payment for Nath to be Hashkar's bodyguard?
Yeah.
Okay. Liberation, what was your business with Nath? Or was that it? Just that's what the best way to kill an Illithid is.
Oh, sorry, my mic was muted. Yeah, no, that was it. I was looking to. I was looking to see what precautions need to be done to deal with lithids, and also to refresh my memory, what the name of this guy's group was.
He'd never said. He gave you his name, but he didn't tell you any other any other details about his organization.
The Illithids. Oh, he gave you the Illithid. Give us the Illithid's name.
No, he doesn't know. He didn't know anything about these Illithids. You mentioned that.
Did Granstarius give us any information about that?
No, he didn't. He said he was going to have his. He said that he had tabs on them, and that when the time was right, he would deliver the information to you.
Okay.
You're spooky boy.
Yeah, I mean, the only information you personally have is that this is one of Aunt Nancy's teams. They basically, at first you thought they were astral pirates, but it turns out they're pirates on the Prime material.
They sailed to Phlogiston.
Yeah.
The Phlogiston, yeah. So I guess that's probably a good avenue to search out. Is to look up is to locate information on the Phlogiston.
Okay, we'll save that for your evening action this evening. Are you doing anything in the sensorium with Nath?
As long as I'm here, I'll stick around with Nath if he'll have me.
Sure.
Okay. Nath, your plan is to sell your sensations of the Orgel plane into a sensory stone?
Yeah, and I was also interested in seeing if I could get paid to give lectures on the nature of the Orgel plane here. More from the knowing what sells here, I'd be focusing more on what it's like than the actual magical properties or anything like that.
As far as receiving payment for lectures, you would first have to establish this is like an actual avenue of inquiry and not just some barmy making up stories. Typically, when people have those kind of lectures, they pay for the privilege of using the Hall of Speakers for some amount of time.
I hate that city.
And that's the first big hurdle you run into when you go into the fest hall and you say, I've got this sensory stone that I want to sell you. Going rate for selling sensory stones is very, very low. They have an enormous library. So you're going to have to convince somebody that you've got something actually unique. So how are you going about doing that?
Well, what I'm trying to sell is the... that would be... I have to think of something. Well... Yeah, I'm going to try and sell this... You know what? For someone who doesn't use divine magic, it's not that unlike most other planes with localized relative gravity. Yeah, Nath kind of goes, yeah, not actually all that unique. Liberation, was there anything unique from your perspective?
Well,
and I'll lean in and whisper, I don't want to say anything about... I was originally going to do the experience of waking up or the visions from sending, but I don't want to give anything away about the Cipher's Hole or anything with Jade Bowl.
You could. I think, given my own experience, I think you and I could totally tag team a lecture about the experiences of the Orgel plane as it pertains to like divine energy coming from the self rather than a deity.
That happens.
I think the gods
And he kind
might
of
be very
hastily
fascinated
pulls
by
out
this.
the paper he had from the he had salvaged and starts adding that to his notes.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I think the godsman would be
that
more
much.
interested in that kind of a thing.
So the way that this red tape is going to work is essentially they're going to schedule you a meeting with one of the high-up ciphers. You're going to record your sensations into the stone. It's going to go to them for review. A lot of people, of course, try to pass off false sensations and things. Oh, I went to the origin plane, but it's like really the plane of air, like Nath was saying. But they're going to sit you down with one of the sensate high-ups. And in order to sell them on the idea, you might have to give up some of the secrets that you know. In order to get a big paycheck from this. Like, they're going to probably want details about how you got there, specifically, and how you got back.
That probably compromises more information than we'd like to.
But you guys are going to have some time to think about it, because there's not... They're going to take two people in off the street and put you in an office right away. They'll go ahead and let you record the stone. They'll pay you the cursory 5 silver each for adding something to their archives. And then we'll say that they'll schedule you a meeting some evening in the coming week to go up and plead your case. Like, they'll give you guys some time to put together the story that you want to tell.
Sounds good.
Riot. Do you want any of these 100 flyers for yourself to hand deliver to people?
Nah.
You just want 100 random people to get these. Okay. Hatches actually leaves for a period in the afternoon. He leaves you there with his clerks who are busy at work hand printing out these flyers. One of these clerks, one of his like personal apprentice, you see going up and down the line and constantly reaching over and grabbing a flyer and crumpling it up or ripping it up. It's not up to the standards. The calligraphy was off or the design wasn't correct. In the corner of each flyer is an ornate pattern, inside of which, written in invisible ink, is a unique number, 1 through 100.
Okay.
With some sort of detect magic, see invisible, true sight, anything of that nature, you'll be able to see on the flyer to ensure that they're one of your flyers and not a counterfeit.
Okay.
Do you do anything unseemly in Hatch's office for the duration while he leaves you there?
You know, yeah, I wanna see who else he's doing jobs for at the moment.
Okay. Make me an intelligence stealth check.
Okay. So not got half trained still. Okay, cool. Uh, 15.
15. Now make me an intelligence investigation check.
Okay.
Are you looking for anybody in particular?
Nah, she's just satisfying her general curiosity.
Okay.
It's a 4.
A 4. The vast majority of the work he does are for restaurants or shops that are opening. A lot of businesses that don't stay open for very long.
Say, hang on. Sorry. You can resume that in a second, but I just realized I had to roll both these at disadvantage.
Oh.
Right. It's exhausted right now. Got the exact same roll on the first one.
Well, you don't have any exhaustion yet. You just saw
What's
the lady.
been- oh.
You just saw the lady pain this
Oh.
morning.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so same rolls then.
You haven't had time to be exhausted yet.
Just seeing the Lady of Pain exhausts you.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of interesting stuff that you find just in terms of his artwork and little gimmicks that he has on his flyers. Like, oh, I wish I had thought of that kind of stuff. But as far as anything to use against Duke Darkwood, you don't come across. Nothing super interesting.
Okay.
Kelian, locksmith stuff. what were your
Sure.
your DC was 10, and I wanted to know how much you made each of the 5 checks by.
Yeah. 19, sorry, 18, 18, 11, 7, and 4.
So you made them by 18, 18, and 11?
Yes. And 7 and 4.
Okay. You have a very, very difficult conundrum ahead of you. There is a considerable amount of choice information you've come across involving a lot of illicit and illegal imports from Beator. Not that the goods themselves are illegal, but they're moving them illegally into the city so as to avoid paying the Fated in most cases.
Okay.
A lot of very choice information, especially coming from the city of Dis, which is probably the largest city in the multiverse. It takes up the entire second layer of Beator. This is exactly the kind of information that Ligris demanded exclusive access to. So, as I see it, you kind of have 3 choices here. And if you want to come up with a 4th choice and surprise us all,
I think I might have a 4th choice, but go ahead.
1, you can give her what she demanded, give her exclusive access to this information, and not use it to further Locksmith's other goals with his other clients. 2, you can tell her to pike off and use it however you want. Or 3, you can destroy the information.
Yeah, I've got a number 4.
Okay.
Number 4. Restrict the amount of information I give her.
Okay.
And tell her the bit about avoiding taxes to the Fated to Duke Darkwood.
So you're going to give her
I want to
some
pit them
amount of
against
access.
each other.
Okay. That's exactly the kind of number 4 I was looking for. All right. Now, this could get very interesting.
So, I'm fulfilling my quote-unquote end of the bargain for Duke Darkwood by saying, yeah, give it the requested information about Fated, right? So, that fulfills that. Filling the request to Lady Ligris, because she's like, oh, I saved your ass. I want unrestricted access. Like, all right, here's the information. Here's your gold. Go.
Now, to be clear, not unrestricted access, exclusive access.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, just making sure you understood the difference here.
I know.
If Ligris finds out that you gave this information to Darkwood, she will be very, very upset.
Yeah.
Let her be very,
whatever
very upset.
is the mantra of all the longest lived people in Sigil.
All right.
I mean, Mahogany's still alive, kind of.
Is anybody doing anything else, like specifically important throughout the rest of the week up to Riot's party on the 33rd?
No,
I only
I've done
had
all
one-
the fun Sigil shit.
I only had one other thing I wanted to do.
All right, what's the one other thing Riot wanted to do?
And Riot spending the rest of her time, like, staying up all night, like, for a couple nights, like, just worrying about ladies / writing scripts for this dumb mystery party that's just alright.
Have you told anyone else in the party that you saw the lady?
No, I'm really scared.
Okay.
Yeah, but the other thing I wanted to do was pay a visit to Terrence.
Okay. And Terrence is willing to grant you an audience when you arrive, because he's still very interested in this Aunt Nancy stuff.
Yeah. And I want to give him back the ring he gave me.
Okay.
And explain that Aasimar and I have come to an arrangement and an understanding, and I no longer need this ring.
And he tells you that if Osprey, well, I mean, he accepts the ring gratefully, and he seems very impressed that you've reached this level of understanding. But he's sure to needle you about it. He tells you if Osprey were truly a god, you would not be able to negotiate with her as though she were immortal.
If she's not truly God, then you don't really have any interest in the matter, do you?
He smiles, and he asks you about any. He asks you for updates about the Aunt Nancy business. If anything new has been learned, any other encounters with him in particular.
Wright will tell him a redacted and edited version of their latest adventure.
Okay.
Yeah, we had quite a time out on the Orgel Plain. Leaving out everything about the maze and the lady's involvement.
Okay. Terrence is very interested in hearing about details about the Orgel Plain and what it was like.
Oh, yeah, and actually this is the other... I'm glad you said that, because now I remember the other reason I wanted to talk to Terrence. Riot is very interested in telling him about, I was trying to make sure that no harm would come to the connection between Aasimar and I, so I left my implements behind. But nevertheless, I was able to cast Divine Magic on the Orgel, drawing from, apparently, myself.
And Terrence confirms that is in fact what you're doing at all times when you cast Divine Magic. And he uses himself as an example. He is himself a very high-level cleric. He loans you a very large and thick tome that he takes from his personal archives. And he tells you that this tome is an accounting of clerics throughout the ages who have had experiences similar to yours. They fell through a portal or a conduit or something, ended up in an indescribable plane that didn't match any known description or place that many have theorized was the Orgel plane, and had the same experience. Their magic functioned, but it was drawn from a different place. And he draws specific attention to one account that he suggests that you read in great detail next time you have some
I'm going to have time to kill.
Just in case you're sitting up all night with nothing else to do. Let me run to fantasynamegenerators.com real quick. This is just the best website. I just love this website.
I wanted to mention that also, D&D Beyond, this digital tools thing that Wizards is running, they have their beta up for the character builder, and it's got fantasy name generators built right in, and
nice.
I was in love the first time I saw that.
All right, let me type this in my notes here because I think this character might come into play later. All right, so part of the tome he hands you, and it's less like a bound book and more, kind of think of like a binder filled with all different notes and journals compiled throughout the years. And Terrence tells you this is a very, very expensive item, essentially. This is something very precious to himself and to his faction.
I'll return it.
He says he has magics in place. He can recall it back to his archives. But he draws your attention.
The first rule of this campaign is never give Riot anything you care about.
The next session, Terrence has to travel to Mount Celestia and bargain with Bahamut to get his goddamn book back. No, he tells you specifically there's one part he wants you to read in great detail. It's the journal of a cleric named Missouri Porden.
Okay.
You say so.
Yeah, well, no, Fantasy Name Generator says so. And the journal is some 60, 70 pages long and very small and very difficult to read font, or script, rather. And it's very, very old. You have to be very ginger and light with these pages. It's written in Common, but it's written in an archaic form of Common. You're kind of dedicating yourself to a Finnegan's Wake situation if you sit down with the Journal of Missouri Porden. But he tells you that you might find it to be greatly interesting.
Okay. Right, we'll put it carefully away in our pack.
Okay. And was that all you had for Terrence?
Yeah. So the Riot's going to spend the rest of the week working on a script and reading this book.
Okay. Who else had something they wanted to do this week before Riot's party?
So I can just take some money out of the rat hole, guys? No one cares? That jumps across, it sounds like, or what?
Let's take a quick vote. Yay or nay?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. The A's have it. Yeah, rat hole is party funds. Everybody can go make a withdrawal at any time.
Where do I mark the money off from?
Who was in charge of the party?
I think we have only.
I think we've been keeping it on our own sheets.
Yeah, Serenity's money in the rat hole is always on her own sheet, so.
Yeah, Riot never put money into the party money.
Yeah.
I mean, do we even have party money for me to take from?
Money.
You can take what you need from Liberation.
I was just going to grab 500. That'll cover me for basic expenses.
I don't have that much. There's not much there.
I genuinely do not know what I have. Let me check. Because I don't check this ever.
You need how much money?
I was just gonna grab 500 just because it's a nice round number. But I
I've
can
got
use less.
2,000 you can take some from.
Yeah, sure, that works.
It's right next to my pile of 140 platinum pieces.
So there were a couple of
steam coming from Kelian's ears at
There were
this
a couple
whole
of spells.
conversation.
that Kelian was going, that Nath is going to add to his spellbook brick. Just they should be spells that are pretty easily available in the just by wearing his entry level Harmonium outfit and going into their archives. They're all pretty low level. Do you want me to list them or?
Yeah, which spells?
Hypnotic Pattern, Mass Suggestion, and Hold Person. Which until that last adventure, I didn't realize I don't have too many options for just disabling people without hurting them, and that's pretty important.
Those are all spells that the Harmonium would absolutely have at the ready. Those are
So I'll just mark those off at cost.
Sure.
And then I also was
mark them
going
off
to
at
the...
mark them off at cost minus 10% because you're getting them from the Harmonium.
Well, I mean, the cost is the cost to scribe them into my book, so I can't. Also, giving me free ink.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's fine.
And then I was going to spend 100 to do the investigation with the clerk.
Okay.
And I wanted to do one other thing. I wanted to spend another, I don't know, 200 to investigate these illithids.
And how are you going about that investigation? Like, who are you shaking down? Whose palms are you greasing? Are you going through a particular faction?
I was going to start with the Indepts.
Okay.
Figure if anyone's interested in their
Liberations
would be them.
interested in tagging along.
Well, Liberation, you were going to invest the Phlogiston, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll start with the property rights and stuff, the really boring stuff. Because you asked about squatters' rights, and it's different, and it's very, very, very complicated, and it changes from ward to ward, and it changes from factal to factal. The way things stand right now is a building that is abandoned or not in use. They don't have strong laws about who can and can't squat there because those kind of buildings tend to be torn down by the Dabus and rebuilt. For the same reason, there are no laws regarding construction in Sigil, because it's very rare that anybody who lives here actually does the construction. The Dabus tend to do all of that work. That being said, there are places, especially in the Ladies' Ward, the Guildhall and Clerks' Ward, and in the Lower Ward, where they don't want vagrants taking up abandoned buildings, so there are laws where the Harmonium are able to go in and chase squatters out.
So I guess the more pointed thing I'll be pointing the clerk towards as he's explaining all this to me is I'm interested in specifically with the marketplace and the various stalls and streets there. Like, are there laws that allow the Indepts to actually work out of that place, or is it all just like off the cuff and the laws don't actually handle the situation?
Both.
Okay.
That
was what I was really wondering.
There's a crazy spaghetti work of laws
Okay.
detailing who can set up a stall and how long it can be there and what goods can come in and come out. In practice, the Indepts don't follow any of that.
Yeah.
Stalls come and go, and from the perspective of enforcement, it's usually very, very low priority.
I was just wondering if there's any legal precedent or framework that would say, hey, since they're effectively making the city and using this place, sort of like the tenant right laws.
Mm-hmm.
Since the merchants there are actually providing a service to the city, even if they don't necessarily own the place they're in, they have a right to not have their heads thumped.
The case law on this in Sigil kind of shakes down like this. The Harmonium get a tip or have an investigation that one of these stall owners in the bazaar is doing something highly illegal. If they're involved in a murder or if they're involved in slavery, something like that. They will use some broken bylaw as a pretense to go in and get them.